Hey, I'm Samnang. This is SNJ Pride, the podcast where two gay men who've been together for over 11 years keep it all the way real about coming out, love, and everything in between.
And I'm James. If you've ever felt alone, stuck, or scared real love doesn't exist, this is your space. Hit subscribe. Take a breath.
If you're a man who's kept a part of your life hidden, who told one small lie that grew teeth, this episode is for you. Tonight, I'm going to tell the story of how secrecy that began as protection became a weapon, how it almost broke us, and the slow steps we used to put trust back together. I want to be clear about why this matters. Secrecy isn't always malicious. For many of us, hiding is a survival skill. We learn to protect ourselves from judgment, rejection, sometimes danger. But survival habits can calcify into patterns that hurt the people we love. Today, I'll walk you through what I did wrong, what James felt, and 3 concrete things we learned that actually rebuild trust. Not just words, but everyday work. Let me take you back. I remember the smell of cheap coffee and the glow of my phone in the dark. I was 25, still closeted to most of my family, navigating a world that felt like a minefield. The first lie was small. I said I was working late when I was with a friend. It felt harmless, a buffer between who I was and who I needed to be. That buffer kept me safe then, but safety became something else. Years passed. The lies stacked up like loose bricks. Not huge betrayals at first. A missed text. A story left out at dinner. A passport stamp not mentioned. I told myself there were good reasons. I told myself James wouldn't understand the fear. And slowly, those omissions let me keep distance. I controlled how much of me he could touch. That control felt like power, but it was really terror disguised as armor. The night it came out is sharp in my memory. I didn't plan to tell him. It was a fight about something else. Money, small things that were only the surface. He asked a question, simple and direct, and for the first time I couldn't answer without tripping over every half-truth I'd built. He looked at me with that look, the one I still feel when I close my eyes, and said, "Why didn't you tell me?" I remember the air went empty. I thought silence would protect me. Instead, it detonated everything. I want to be honest about what happened next. We went to bed angry. We woke up colder. For weeks, we existed in parallel rooms in the same apartment. He stopped trusting my calendar, my messages, my tone. He started checking the little cracks I had left and finding more dust. That's the thing about secrecy. It creates a hunger for proof that leaves everyone starving. I nearly lost him because I believed my fear mattered more than our life together.
There was a moment, a low point, when he packed a bag. I watched him at the door and I felt something in me break and at the same time ignite. I could have used all my old defenses, justify, deflect, blame the closet. Instead, I did something stupid and simple. I sat down and started naming the lies out loud. I didn't explain them away. I said the words, admitted the pattern, and asked for permission to try again. Asking for permission felt like humility. It was the first tiny bridge.
I remember that night too. From where I sat, secrecy looked like distance, like being shut out of your own life. I felt betrayed, not just by the facts, but by the way secrecy made me smaller, like my role in your life was negotiable. I asked myself, who is he with when he isn't here? What parts of him are I not allowed to see? That's how hard it hit.
But here's what I want listeners to hear. I wasn't perfect. I didn't handle it well at first. I went quiet in ways that made healing harder. The turning point for me was realizing that anger wasn't the only honest response. choosing repair was a decision. I started asking different questions, not to trap, but to understand. Where were you scared? What did hiding feel like for you? Those questions opened a door, and that's where we began to build again.
What helped us rebuild? For the next section, I'll give you 3 things we actually used. These aren't therapy rules. They're what worked for 2 guys who messed up and didn't want to lose each other. I'll speak to one listener. If you're hiding or you're the partner being hidden from, try at least one of these tonight. Takeaway 1. Accountability over apologies. A dramatic speech feels good in the moment, but it's actions that change a life. For us, accountability meant small daily rituals, sharing our day before bed, sending a photo when plans changed, agreeing to put calendars where both of us can see. If you're the partner, name what you need and ask for evidence. Kindly, not as a test.
Takeaway 2. Create predictable honesty windows. We set a time each week, Thursday evenings, where we did a check-in. No interruptions, phones on the table, 2 questions only. What worried you this week? And where did you feel distant? That ritual gave the other person fewer surprises and a place to land. Predictability reduces panic. Unpredictability feeds it. We were skeptical at first, but it became sacred.
Takeaway 3. Language that repairs instead of shames. When I came clean, I said, "This is my fault. I used hiding to feel safe, and I see now it made you unsafe. I'm sorry. I will show you what I mean." Notice that I didn't demand forgiveness. I offered responsibility and a plan. Shame shuts people down. Ownership opens the work. If you're listening and you're the one hiding, here's a concrete thing to try tonight. Pick one thing you've been keeping from your partner, a meeting, a friend, a trip, and practice a short, honest line. I want to tell you something I've been keeping private. I'm nervous. Can I tell you now? That sentence gives permission and prepares the listener to receive it. Small steps beat perfect speeches every time.
And if you're the partner who found out, I see you. You're allowed to be angry, to mourn the trust you thought you had. But don't let anger be the only thing you offer. Ask for clarity. What does apology look like for you? What would make you feel safe this week? Give specific tasks, not vague promises. Show me your calendar feels practical. Be more available is not. Be clear about the evidence you need.
A gentle professional reminder. We are not therapists. This is lived experience. If this episode brings up heavy feelings, betrayal, panic, or a sense of being unsafe, please consider talking to a licensed therapist or a trusted support person. If you're at risk or feel unsafe in your relationship, reach out to local resources. Healing sometimes needs a professional hand alongside honest partners. We also want to hear from you. A listener wrote in anonymously. I hid for years because my family would have kicked me out. Now my partner thinks I chose shame over him. To that listener, I say, I hear you. That fear is real. Start with safety, and then with one small act of honesty when it feels possible. You don't have to fix everything overnight. Permission to be imperfect is part of repair.
Quick recap. 3 things. Accountability over big apologies, a predictable honesty ritual, and repair language that owns the harm without weaponizing shame. Try one tonight. If you do, tell us about it in the comments. If you're not comfortable sharing details, just leave "I hear you" so we know you're there.
Next time on S&J Pride, we'll tell a story about long distance and how secrecy shows up when miles create space. If that's you, you'll want to hear it. If this hit home, hit subscribe. Take a breath.
I hear you. You're not alone.
We're Samnang and James, and this is S&J Pride. Thank you for being here. You are not alone.